Chapter 1. The Awakening. The boundless silence of space stretched endlessly, punctuated only by the faint glow of distant stars. These celestial watchers blinked in the eternal void, their light cold and distant, as if the universe itself held its breath in anticipation. Amid this expanse, two figures faced each other, titans of unimaginable power. Valara, the Almighty of creation, hovered effortlessly, her form an incandescent beacon that radiated warmth and purpose. She was the architect of existence, the mother of galaxies, and the weaver of cosmic tapestries. For millennia, her light had filled the void, crafting beauty and balance. But now, across from her stood a challenger. Ashera, the Almighty of strategy, loomed like a shadow. His armor gleamed like liquid starlight, every piece meticulously designed for efficiency. Unlike Valara's radiant aura, Ashera exuded an aura of calculation and cold precision. He was the tactician of the cosmos, his every move deliberate, his every word sharp. The debris of a shattered moon drifted between them, remnants of Ashera's arrival. He had made his presence known with decisive force, fracturing the celestial body to command Valara's attention. "Are you ready, Valara?" Ashera's voice carried across the void, a resonant hum that seemed to vibrate the very fabric of space. Valara tilted her head, a soft smile curving her lips. "Ready? I have waited centuries for this moment, Ashera. Let us see which of us truly deserves the title of Almighty." Chapter 2. The First Move. In the silence that followed, the tension was palpable. Without warning, Valara raised her hand. From her palm erupted a vortex of radiant energy, swirling with cosmic might. The light surged forward, illuminating the darkness as it spiraled toward Ashera, tearing through space with a force that could rend stars. Ashera remained unfazed. He raised his hand with a calm precision, manipulating gravity itself. The vortex bent, its trajectory altering until it spiraled harmlessly away, vanishing into the abyss. "A solid opening," Ashera said, his tone measured, "but predictable." With a flick of his wrist, he retaliated. A black hole coalesced at his fingertips, its gravitational pull immense. The void around them twisted and stretched, the pull threatening to devour all within reach. Valara's radiant form flickered momentarily, but she responded swiftly. A barrier of light materialized before her, splitting the gravitational force and redirecting it. The shockwave from their clash rippled outward, scattering the fragments of the shattered moon and sending them hurtling through space. "You cannot defeat raw creation," Valara declared, her voice reverberating with unshakable confidence. "Creation is chaotic," Ashera countered. "Strategy, however, is absolute." Ashera extended his hand again, and the battlefield warped. The infinite void dissolved, replaced by the surface of a barren desert planet. Chapter 4. The Clash of Gods. The heavens cracked as the two beings collided with blinding force. Valara summoned beams of radiant energy, each one striking with the fury of a collapsing star. Ashera countered with gravitational waves, distorting space to absorb and redirect her attacks. Their battle raged across the desert, each strike reshaping the planet's surface. Valara surged forward, her body a beacon of incandescent light, but Ashera anticipated her charge. He shifted the gravitational field, sending her crashing into the ground. Before she could recover, he materialized above her, wielding a blade forged from pure energy. The weapon shimmered with a deadly brilliance, its edge sharp enough to sever reality itself. Valara raised her hand, summoning a shield of light to deflect the blow. The clash sent shockwaves rippling through the desert, flattening dunes and shattering the pillars Ashera had raised. "You fight with raw power," Ashera observed, his tone unyielding, "but raw power is never enough." Chapter 5. The Turning Point. As the battle intensified, Valara's strikes became more ferocious, her light blazing brighter with each attack. But in her fury, she became reckless. Her movements grew predictable, her focus narrowing to a single goal, overpowering her opponent. Ashera seized the opportunity. With a subtle shift, he manipulated the planet's gravity, creating a well of crushing force. Valara's movement slowed as the gravitational pull intensified, her radiant form flickering under the strain. You assumed victory too soon, Ashera said, his voice cold and analytical. Power without control is meaningless. Valara struggled, her light dimming as the gravity pressed down on her. But deep within, she tapped into the essence of her being. She was not merely the creator of worlds, she was creation itself. With a supernova of energy, she shattered the gravitational well, sending shockwaves through the cosmos. Rising from the rubble, she glowed brighter than ever, her resolve unshakable. You may be the strategist, Ashera, she said, her voice steady, but creation cannot be confined. Chapter 3. The Desert Battlefield. The barren expanse stretched endlessly beneath a cold, starlit sky. The cracked surface of the desert reflected pale light, its jagged edges betraying the scars of an ancient, forgotten civilization. Towering sandstorms loomed on the horizon, their swirling forms ominous and unrelenting. Valara landed gracefully on the cracked terrain, her light casting long shadows across the dunes. You chose this battlefield, Ashera. Do you think it will give you the advantage you seek? I don't rely on advantage, Ashera replied, his voice sharp. I create it. With a single motion, he raised his hand, and the ground trembled in response. Massive pillars of stone erupted from the sands, their surfaces etched with intricate patterns. Each pillar was positioned with meticulous precision, creating a labyrinth designed to corner and contain. Valara observed his handiwork with an appraising eye. Your structures may be impressive, but you underestimate the force of creation. She extended her arms, and the planet responded. From its core rose waves of radiant energy, transforming the landscape. The sands beneath her feet began to glow, shifting and warping into walls of light that countered Ashera's stone labyrinth. The ground beneath her cracked suddenly, a gaping chasm opening to swallow her whole. Ashera floated above, watching her fall with detached interest. Can you survive the depths, or will your light extinguish itself in the abyss? Valara's form flared brilliantly. With a burst of energy, she closed the chasm, reshaping the desert to its original state. She rose into the air, glowing with renewed strength. I am the creator of worlds, Ashera. You cannot bury me in my own domain. Chapter 6. The Final Moment. Exhausted yet unyielding, the two stood facing each other under the starlit desert sky. The battle had pushed them both to their limits, their powers nearly spent. You have fought well, Ashera, Valara said, her tone softening. But strategy without creation is hollow. Ashera hesitated, her words cutting through his calculated defenses. For the first time, he saw the truth. Strategy alone could not conquer the universe. Balance was the key. Valara extended her hand, her light gentle, yet resolute. Let us reshape the cosmos together. Ashera paused, then reached out and took her hand. Together we can achieve what neither of us could alone. Chapter 7. The Outcome. The stars above burned brighter as the battle ended, not in destruction, but in unity. Valara and Ashera turned their combined powers toward the desert planet. With Valara's creative energy and Ashera's strategic precision, the barren world transformed. Lush forests sprouted where dunes had once stood, rivers carved their way through the cracked earth, and life flourished under their guidance. Together, they forged a new era, their partnership a testament to the power of harmony. As the universe looked on, the once bitter rivals stood side by side, ready to shape a future greater than either could have imagined.